I don't know my Japanese for stand up.
Stand up.
There you go. Just Ray, let's clear the mat. Sit anywhere you want, but not on the mat. And how about, let's not start at the very beginning. Just do your back leg close. Okay, standing side break pose. All right, two-handed forward rolls with a slap out. Two-handed forward rolls with a roll out. Good job. Shoulder rolls with a slap out. Your leg drawn up so you don't want to go behind. You don't have bruises, that's telling you again. Can we get both sides? In that case, shoulder rolls without the slap out. Shoulder rolls standing. Okay. Shoulder rolls into a backward roll, standing this way. Okay, well that's all right. Stephanie, have a seat for a second. Alanna, let's go on. Let's go, well, in interest of your lower back issue, let's just skip the hard drops and do the rotaries. So do your rotaries and retreat balls.
Yeah, the hard drops. The rotary.
Okay. What we wanted to see. Oh, front break fall and front drop.
Oh, jumping up. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
first one without jumping. Any other basic break fall you guys want to see? That's okay. Specifically, JiShin Ryu, I want you to stay on your own center and do your wrist locks. All right. Okay, now let's do yours with some sort of striking, hand strike or kick. Stay on your center, yeah. I want you to make sure you're displacing her center, but you don't have to take her center. Just do hand strike. Okay, suits me fine. Stephanie, you doing okay?
Yeah.
Take over her center now. Did we get all four of them? Sound good? Okay. Okay. Bend down your toe. Take Let's give those guys out. Just to keep it shorter, why don't you do all of these taken over her center? Shio, Kaiten, armbar, arm cut down, whatever you're going to do.
Okay.
Do a step under Shio, cross her and grab. Cross. There you go. So then take her center, even if you take it with your hips instead of your hip or something. Whoa, whoa, that's not it. There you go. Okay, let's start your throws. Let's do your jiu-jitsu style throws. Ogosh, Yukigosh, Kukinagi, all those that are without spinals.
But
With a spin. Yeah, you made it very difficult to spin.
Sorry.
Yeah. There you go. Is that lighter?
Yeah.
Good. When you do left side, just do the next technique. I don't want to spend all day on.
Okay.
You skip Kubi to the next row?
So,
Sorry?
doing it.
Okay. What old dog, we stick to the same order all of the time. Is that all the basic ones without the spine ones? I think it is. Go ahead, bow each other. You guys can get out of here. You guys come back up. I should look at the JiShin. Let's see what I'm missing. Sorry about that. Wow. Alright. She's gone through almost everything for third Q already. Let's pick up the third Q throws you didn't do yet. So you have you did Shio and Kaiten. Oh, Uchi and Osoto is all you have at this level. So go ahead. They're with spine locks. I think Stephanie's okay for these stuff. Go ahead. Uchi and Osoto. Inside and outside.
And I'm going to sign.
There's no link.
Yeah, just here.
That's fine, like real good.
Yeah, I know. Spine lock worked.
I'm trying to.
When you're using spine knots and stuff, it's kind of hard to do it slow enough so you don't do what you did the first time, you just drop them.
Okay, suits me. Let's go with the inside. Spine lock. There you go. Okay, let's do it again now that we're all doing the right thing. Get your footwork smooth. Tip and turn. There we go. Is there anything different from that? Mention the JiShin.
See a different angle.
Okay.
So you're throwing her optimally over her heels, what you did that time.
Right.
Add a little more twist. Okay. Again, you're going to have to establish your center. Do the tip and turn. There we go. Looks good. It's a hard to tell from you, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's good. Okay, you're a 13. Good job. Okay. Second cue, second cue, second cue. Oh, chokes. Let's go through all your chokes. Full cross. Oh, boy. Oh, everybody cries when they get cut with your ring.
Maybe that's why.
Maybe that's it. Go ahead, show full cross. Good. Let's do your half cross. There you go. Well, if you're gonna not lock in her uniform, you're gonna have to put her on the floor because that's circling her around.
If I'm gonna not.
So put your hand back up there. If you grab a hold of her uniform, you can keep her from getting away from you. Grab a hold of it. No, no, no. Grab a hold of it. Both hands.
Oh.
Ah!
Oh, I see.
Yeah. Yeah. Go ahead.
Okay.
Okay. Looks like it's working.
You can use the other variation.
From behind.
No. Hand up, back edge. and just throw
Yeah.
it.
You have that
On
from
shoulder.
sliding. You do your sliding with that. Which variation are you looking for? Or
No.
something different? And here. Oh, naked neck lock.
So that was,
Yeah.
I'll be over here. Can you- Well, that's what was in my brain.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. Where are we? We're on thrusting with
So
now.
Kubi here and then there's a choke.
Unless you want to do that first. Let's do that. Do the knife edge, but then use the shoulder instead of the uniform.
I'm with the arm.
Oh, I see.
There you go. That gives you a little more control.
Good.
And you could actually, because of that pressure, you could make the head tip back and really take them straight back. Or if you want to turn and take over center, then you can step into their center as they turn around and grab.
Yeah, I think mostly I've done the naked neck lock from behind, so I don't think I've done that application yet.
Okay.
Yes.
You have, but you've done it with the hinge on your own arm. To me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
We'll get to that. We still have thrusting with now. Let's do that. I know. I'm a stickler for order.
What we write that down for?
Now you're naked neck lock. That's how she's going to go.
Yeah, that's good, Jim.
From behind, naked neck lock.
Yep.
Okay, and now from behind, do you remember? Go on your knees for me, Stephanie. From behind, it's easier this way. Do you remember the sliding lapel from behind? Right, the one you got on there, slide it up. There you go.
Yeah, and use this as the hook again.
Yeah, there you go. Okay, good. Actually, you want to go around here to grab that lapel.
To the opposite side.
Yeah, so take your right hand around. Cinch it up.
Then the left hand on there.
That's
Oh,
it.
yeah, that's.
That's it. That way you're not pushing away from yourself. Okay. Any other jokes?
Yep.
Can I ask about how you're going to use the chokes? It's in the full cross again.
Let's do it off of something.
Yeah.
I don't know, jacket grab or something. So what are you gonna do? Take over center, use your circle. And then drop, one around the floor.
Okay.
Does taking over center always mean taking hips out? Or can you reach up and really get a good choke and just shoulders past hips kind of thing, and step in and turn, as she spins her down.
Do that. It's that easy. How about you do it again and think of it as a hip throw? Don't do a hip throw, but do the spin like
Do the
that.
spin, yeah.
Okay.
That way you step into her center and she comes around you and hits the ball.
Yeah, that's almost exactly what you just did.
Yeah.
Do it like a hip throw. Or do the hip throw, why not? Stephanie's fine.
Do the throw, the throw, all right.
We'll wait.
Somehow.
I wonder if I have to go this way.
There you go.
See how that makes you
Yeah.
think about your hand position?
Yep.
Because you can't turn a certain way if you got your hands backward. You have to turn the other way, so.
Yep.
Whoa. Well, do it or don't do it. Don't go halfway. I'd like to see the hip throw. Actually do the hip throw. There you go. That's very nice.
Little hint, if you're gonna come this way, like you do a hip throw, you come around the waist, reach up on that lapel and pull it in tight, so this is getting on her throat. Then you can reach in with the other hand, cut things a little tight as you turn your body and do the actual throw. That way you slide one hand in position, so that starts creating the off-balancing, getting her twisting, because she's following the pressure like, wow. Then you step in, take over center, your other hand gets into the complete choke or standing pressure.
Do a right punch this time. Block, counter punch as a thrusting lapel. And then you can just fit in. Do a thrusting if you want instead of a full thrust, whatever you want. Do your throw. Yeah. That was all.
See that?
Yeah, nice.
Now, my only concern is right now, up until that last punch, you're just blocking a punch and you're reaching in and grabbing both hands thinly. You can wait until you take them down, or you can wait a second. But if you slide one hand up and you're still open, you can still get them punched down, take them to the ground. At any point in time, you slide that other hand in. But right now, you're always going like this at the exact same time. And it just looks like you're going to leave yourself open.
That's why I said step in with one hand.
Right.
Really get that in there tight, which already starts all the off balance that it does.
So you get that one in
Then you
first.
can add the other hand, you know, as it's comfortable or safe or whatever you do that.
Great. And like I'm trying to teach all three of you, don't think of the choke as a technique. The choke just helps your technique, right? You do a takedown, then a choke, or you do a choke as part of your takedown. But don't think of the choke itself as your only means of defense.
That choke is just what you're doing to create the off balancing. And to create the movement of the attacker that you want, so you can do that particular throw. Or any other throw that's around the hip type thing, you know. You got all kinds of variations of throws you can do, whether it's a hip throw or whatever, you know. That's like when we're using a bow and we do the throws from there. If you don't have the bow, you can still do the throws. It's just the movement that you create with your block. You turn their body once they're tipped. In this case, the choke creates the tipping and turning. You do whatever throw you want then off the right side of your body or left side if you go the other way. So it's just a part of, it's a movement that creates the kazushi that makes it possible to do whatever else you want.
Okay, now you're doing combination joint locks, going from one to the other. And we all know you've done it before, but I want you to do that, and then I want you to finish with your hold down techniques, which in the requirements say joint locking hold downs from standing and kneeling, but I also want you to do choke hold downs if we're talking about them. So, combination joint locks. Once she's on the floor, make her tap with either a joint lock or a choke. that wasn't a combination wrist lock.
I know, I thought that's what they could have done.
There's one wrist lock even to the pin.
All right.
Very efficient of you though.
There's a finger lock.
There's a finger lock somewhere. Yeah. Now I want you to actually like do full reversal. So if you're doing a Nikyo or a Sankyo, I want you to fully reverse that back to Ikkyo and Kotegaeshi.
Okay.
And then use your chokes now. Your bang chokes are open.
I don't remember reversing from the Ikkyo into the Nikyo to the other
Yeah,
side.
figure it out. That's what's going on.
I don't know. Should that be a practice thing versus a
Oh,
technique
yeah, yeah.
doing against attack?
It should be.
I've got an EP, I want to switch to something else.
If I've got Kotegaeshi here and I just spin, I have Ikkyo. I spin back to Kotegaeshi. Spin Ikkyo.
I see a lot of that in that other style for you.
Now, here's why it makes some sense as an actual application. I go to do my Kotegaeshi and she recenters. I need to bring her back the other direction.
That was different than what they're doing.
It's true. And she,
Okay.
but she does not do that yet. Come on now. And she recenters, I come back. So there's a really good reason.
So that's where you're headed with it, okay. Now that you've explained that, okay, I can accept that they're doing it.
Okay.
It was just confusing to me, why if you've got Ikkyo or Nikyo or any good wrist control technique, and you got it locked in, why are you gonna let go and do something else? I see a lot of that in videos that people send me on Facebook all the time. It's like, what do you think about this? And if I tell them what I really think, they're not gonna like me. Because it's crap. I mean, they're gonna go from a technique you've got that's real good, let go of it, and then grab something else. It's like, huh? You know, it's like throwing a left hook and then stop halfway through to kick them. And it's like, okay, does any of that make sense? The way you were doing that just now wasn't making sense to me. Why would you go into this and then stop and go for Sankyo or whatever? It's like, but under the way he explained, like, okay, you go for it, they come into center because you moved wrong, which would be the only way they could come into center. Get it? If you're moving wrong, you don't have control of them and they get their center, their balance back, then you have to switch to something else. To clarify it that way makes it okay then to go ahead and do what you're doing.
But just for
Is
the
it
sake
too
of,
soon to teach the combinations if they don't understand why they're doing it?
well, Alanna already counters wrist locks. She's already doing stepping in the center and countering. So with the right uki, it would make sense.
Oh, okay.
Stephanie hasn't seen any of that yet, so that's not fair.
And this was more of my questions to him really about the style itself and why we're doing this, because I didn't remember teaching that other than as a way to make up for fatal mistakes when you do something wrong, you gotta be able to counter it. You know, you gotta understand how to switch. Oops, didn't get that right, better do this. Okay, cool beans. You
Well,
did
then-
good. It's just- I wasn't sure why you were doing it that way, but.
One thought, like some people, Ikkyo, that's mine.
Oh, yeah.
You can put it right on.
It's like,
I'll just start it so that being able to transition from that into another
Sure.
one when it's not off balancing them, you can have it
Right.
on. It's not off balancing, it's not doing what you want. The transition might be.
yeah.
use with skill, but I understand if you have a good joint lock on and they're going down, why would you
Why would you
possibly?
quit?
Yeah.
Why stop it? I have a nephew, well, even Jesse Kendall, I don't know if you remember that, there's one of my jiu-jitsu black belt. You can put him in any wrist lock you want, he's just gonna stand there and look at you like, okay, that's nice. And you may be doing it totally correct, and you'll have to break his wrist before he'll respond to it, which has happened. Anyway, you have to know that when there's people like that, you gotta wrist control, it ain't doing nothing, you've gotta know it's not working. They just don't have pain, you know? And so are you willing to go far enough to defend yourself to break it? Something to think about. Because if it ain't working, what are you gonna, and you don't catch it or don't realize it's not working, and all of a sudden they're getting you because you got no control. And so you gotta know that, you gotta feel it. You will over time, I suppose, you have to have the right attitude. Like people learn to shoot a gun, but they really couldn't shoot somebody. Why bother, you know? Okay.
All right, next.
Different style.
We're not killing people here.
No. I mean, if somebody's attacking you, you need to be able to know that you can defend yourself. And it's mental as well as physical. I mean, all the techniques in the world won't do you any good if you can't really use them. Well, I don't want to hurt them. Huh? While they're choking you out, you're thinking, I don't want to hurt them. Okay, fine.
Now let's do the ones that do go well together. Nikyo, Sankyo, into Chitin, Ikkyo, Kotegaeshi, and Shio. You're the ones that go well together. And make sure you do those choke finishes. We haven't gotten around to that yet. So go ahead. What were you in position for? What choke? I think that she tapped before you actually got the opposite lapel grab. That's what I saw.
She tapped when it hurt.
That's what it must have worked. Okay.
Sorry, get out so soon.
If you got a good one, you should just go with it. What did you just say?
I think so, yeah.
Right? Do something that makes sense. If you're in a bad position for it, maybe you don't want to do that. Yep, there you go. Yep. Good.
Something that might also work. Just slide your knee right across your throat. Rather than trying to then walk your hands and just the knee.
Make a neck lock with your shin instead of Your blood hurts a lot.
Yeah.
There's a lot of pressure on the spine. Okay, go ahead and bow to each other. We'll get the guys in before they cool down too much. Basic hip throw with the spine lock. Let's make it a little more fluid. A little more lift with the hip would be good.
You creepy eyes
Get some good video of that with those eyes, yeah.
Let's go tie push. Spine lock tie push. Yeah, this sucks. I guess you haven't really taken this as an AT. I can switch out. You want to? Let's do that progression. What comes next? O Uchigara. No, O Uchimata. Uchimata. Try that with moment. See the lift? And then next would be tension. Tension of the spine line. Good. Try to high center a little more spin. What I'm trying to get her to go for, Mitch, you can help her figure it out. She should be spinning you so that you're coming over in a side rotary fall. Okay. In other words, she might be spinning you too much to make you come around in a barrel roll. She needs to spin you so that you come over in a side rotary.
That's why I was thinking about spine lock, is it's gonna be different. She's trying to use the same spine lock every time, and it's not creating the off balance that she needs for the throw. So some spine locks are gonna tip the head back and then twist, some are gonna twist and come forward.
True, like this one.
Yeah,
The one you do this to me the best is when I feel my chin tweak at the end of the technique, actually. I'm
and
trying-
it's because you turned that made you change the spine lock, so you should have that different spine lock first, so that he's getting into the proper position that you need to execute the actual throw.
I kind of said that wrong. You want to spin him, like Sophie said, so that you're coming this way, coming into the throw. And then what I'm saying about my chin is that's when you tip me. And you're tipping me back over my shoulders, but it's sending me forward in the throw. Does that make sense to anybody?
That's like
Spin, then tip.
Kota Geish. I watch some people when they're being thrown with this, the proper way to fall with this is to go straight over, rotary drop. But a lot of people do this and they try to get around it. With the right spine lock, you'll execute the same thing for the throw. One of these throws wants to come over, the other one wants to go around a little bit. So you have to say, okay, maybe just practice different spine locks to see what kind of a zushi you can create from it. So you can say, okay, this variation or spine lock is going to work better for this throw, whether it's uchi, ochi, or whatever.
This time through, don't think about tipping at all. Do the spin and do the weight underside drop to the knee, and I think the tip will happen eventually.
And instead of wrapping around out here, keep it closer to me.
No, I still like the high center, low center of this technique. So,
It's the way you turn it, Stan.
right, just turn it.
Okay.
Don't push it away from you.
There's the word I was going to say. Yeah,
Just turn.
turn it. The kubi.
Well, that was counterproductive, because it really made you spin sideways. Yeah. You did it right, it was our judgment.
Did you know this was not originally?
I know.
Okay,
Yeah.
so
It happened when Soka was coming over when I was training her for the color bar ranks.
could you change the spine lock to a different direction of spine lock?
Sure, how would you like to do it?
More come around back. So if she throws the punch, come around here,
Yep,
and spine lock there.
that would be all right.
So if you slide around and like that.
Switch ways to go over.
It might be better because she'd be closer to the center, the uki would be closer to the center of the technique that way.
It might be more dangerous because when they finish, you can keep that.
That's okay, Mitch is the uki, let's do it.
Wait a minute. Who's moving it back?
Yeah,
So
right,
you
it should be
start
actually.
tipping it. And tipping over. Yeah, so you shoot around.
Okay, and I'm hooking somewhere I did it.
Just do it like you're doing a shoulder roll.
Yeah.
In your hand.
Just slightly.
Yeah, that was fun. Well, it was effective. We'll get there. Let me show you what it looks like when I uki, actually. No, do what you've been doing.
Oh, I see.
Like that. Let's do it again with better spin. And if you just tweak my chin at the end of the technique. There, that's what
Well, that
I'm
was
talking about.
totally different from what she did the times before.
This last one was what I
That
thought.
last one, she really had a nice tight grip, and then before she was up here almost on the chin.
Okay.
That creates a different turn on the head.
Something that looks like, it almost looks like this is a more real application.
Right.
Because you're fighting it, and when you get that turn,
Right.
and you get her wrist, or your wrist in the position, that's when she snaps that neck over. rather than me being like this.
Right, already off.
So you're like this and fighting it.
Right.
She gets everything right in position, just does
Okay.
that little neck.
That makes a lot of sense.
And that's all in on these fingers that's in the back. It's this, rather than this. Is that?
Yep.
So
Yeah.
bringing it around and not snapping it to the
Mm-hmm. But what the difference would be when you did it on me.
Well, go ahead. You
I
might
was
be
gonna
ready to say what I'm gonna say.
When you did it on me, I let my head flip back. So if you put it on me again, okay.
You were already like.
I go like that.
So you couldn't have done a rotary.
Right.
Yeah.
So Snuka.
He fought it.
He
held
fought it,
there.
so he's going like this and fighting it, and then you come right to here and get him off balance, and then that's gonna flip me right over my shoulder.
Yeah, I think that's it.
That makes some sense.
Yeah.
And the other is when you put the pressure here, that's a difference than doing this. Did you feel the difference?
I did feel the difference.
And that's gonna cause his response to be different. On one of those, you would follow it to go around, because it's saying, let's go this way around. On the other one, it's saying, let's go this way. Is that the difference?
Changes.
Well, depends on which technique you're doing. I'll be over.
Good. That was a very good discussion.
So it's really where your hand is.
And when it's all said and done, they all put them on the floor. It's just, I'm going for that rotary, that side rotary.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, the reason that's important is because he's a very good uke and he's used to all these different techniques. Somebody else who's not quite used to them, you've got to make them move the way you need them to move so you can get the technique right. And that's why I say earlier, everything you do has to make the attacker respond in the way that you want them to so that you get what you're looking for, with the technique you're trying to do. And so a simple thing with the, whether you're gripping more with these fingers or pushing with the thumb, whether you turn this way or this way, there's a difference. And that difference is what causes them to move correctly so you can get the overhead over your hip type throw or around type throw like the diagonal or whatever. Just practice the spine locks various ways and see how they have an effect on the person.
Since we're still doing spine locks, let's get either Josh back or Josh. Go ahead, real quick. This is funny. Let's move on. You did tie a tosh. Let's do Harai Gosh with spine lock.
All right.
Yeah, the back. Okay. More spin and all that. There's a better center. That was nice.
Yeah.
That's what JiShin looks like.
Yeah. Well, I can see because it came straight out from it.
That was good.
And that's the difference in the two spine locks. One takes it one way, the other takes it the other way.
Oh, remember that.
So,
Oh, ooh, remember
throw.
that was good. Second time. And chamber shoulder. Hold it up. Let's switch anyway. I'm going to have Josh come out and work with you too. Let's switch to Uchi, Hanagoshi. We did Uchi. No. Next day for Hanagoshi. Then we're going to have Josh come in and do some of the same throws. We're going to also do left side. So you stay. Hanagoshi.
Oh, sorry. I missed something.
Yeah. You're doing it because you're doing it with strength. I want you to get more spin and let it come around. That's what she's been doing Jersey so okay, bow to each other, that's fine. Now we'll get Josh in for all of these things. Mac, you can go. Mac seems a little disoriented. Somebody want to get him some water?
There's water in that orange there. There's some water in that orange. Got you, buddy.
All right, so let's go one right, then one left of Ogaruba. No, Haragosh.
With spinal.
Left side then. Okay, wait a minute. Well, why are you throwing him over his front leg? Get in the center and spin. Okay, you need to stop and reset your thinking.
Is, when she gets my arm, she's trying to rotate it this way. That feels like I'm not, it's aiding me in standing up,
Sure.
like you're rotating that like toward yourself, so it's not really getting, yeah.
There you go.
And it's kind of like pushing me wanting to go.
It's kind of just a symptom of the bigger problem. You're just not doing your footwork. You're not doing your drilling. You're not stepping in the center. So get in the center, do all the off balance in the front. Why are you throwing him over his front leg? There you go. Now, just do that again. That's what you want. Okay. Still laboring. It's not going smoothly from his punch into his break fall. It should go one continuous winding motion. So let's do Oberlin. Let's see if that goes off on the left side.
Kind of goes side.
Get into his center, don't throw him over his front leg, just let the punch take you right in. You're the tight bowl, man. You gotta get that going. If this was Dodon Ryu, it would look okay. Doesn't look like JiShin Ryu. There we go. You can tell by what happens to his body when you're doing it.
When he's facing that way, it's different than when he's facing this way.
Even halfway through the throw, he's all twisted and sprawled out, and that's what we want. We want him twisted and contorted. That's how it was right. Okay.
We've done about half the time JiShin, half the time DDR. Is this a DDR test? Oh.
No, in fact, we never wrote her certificate. We tested her for grade. We never did any.
Well, you know, it's only been, what, a year? I mean, that's to get out papers.
No, actually, it was only a couple months ago. But anyway, you know when it feels right. You just got to get in the center and turn. So let's do it with your choice in throws. Either Hanagosh or Haragosh. Left side.
I do Haragosh.
Good, except you're still stutter stepping.
Yeah.
There, better, smoother. Yeah, that's fine. Go ahead and bow each other. And Josh can go alpha man because nobody's taken the JiShin Ryu throw yet.
Alright.
And just to
Bye,
warm
Armando.
you up. Bye, Armando. Just to warm you up a little bit. You can do the right side over the left. Just like there.
Kind of low on you.
Yeah, it was very low. Hey! Okay. And Hanagosh. Hey!
Sorry.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey! You're dropping me. You're not getting your good circle. Yeah. Hey! That was nice. Haragosh.
Sorry. Back kick.
Hey! Oh, that was excellent.
I thought
Were you balanced?
Yeah.
That's so good. Juji.
Keep my center.
That's a better choose. Your choice. Let's do it again. Expecting that angle. She does have the right to choose. I get that.
You want me to bring your own further?
Listen. Hey, hey. Take over my center now. This is bad news for you. Move around your circle. Because you're taking over my center, I mean you can't stay on yours properly. So stay on yours. Take mine. Yeah, that's it. Yep. That's what I was going with.
Well, she ended it.
Okay.
I'm just trying to figure the logic of how she's got into it.
Okay. Let's do it again. From the front or from
Well,
the...
I mean, the way she took over your center, because that knocked you away, and then she had to catch up and then get the juji.
Good point.
She already had the juji. If she'd have just stepped there to take over your center without knocking you out of center, don't do the kick to get him out of center. Just step into his center, because as you continue to, like you take that and you pull your left hand this way, there you go. And if you just had turned and dropped with that, you'd have the juji. Well, I have been kicking. That way he has to move his center into the throw. So I guess I'm saying right. There you go.
Yep.
Is that right? Okay.
Yeah, actually, that's something Mac has been very good. He's a white belt, but he's working on his blue requirements in JiShin. And he's been good about just moving his hips into the center to take the place in the center, because he did it a lot in Build-Out here. But Alanna still really likes to kick people's hips out of center, and sometimes she kicks them so far away she can't pull them back to do the technique.
Well, that's what happened the first time. She ended up with the technique finally, but she had to chase you down to get it.
Right.
Which meant she didn't really have any control over you.
She had me off balance, but she had herself off balance
Yeah,
when I catch up.
she did.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
And to regain your center and all that, so you could do the juji throw, you know, if somebody had really been fighting back, they might not have given you that second opportunity, so.
That's okay.
Let me, watch. Just let me watch. What is it that you did to her?
From the front, I grabbed the shoulder
Okay.
and punched this one.
So if I block here,
Yep.
I've already got juji. Now if I add my pivot, I'll be all right. But if let's go through this again, okay. I'm gonna block here, bring it to here. If I put my foot up there and kick him out of the way, look what happens to me and him. He's going the wrong direction. His power has been changed in direction, and now I can't really take him this way. Until I get here, and then all of a sudden I start using strength. Whereas if he's coming in, and I block, sweep, turn, I can't turn myself right. You know what I mean. Don't videotape that. Well, anyway.
You got editing power.
Turn with the juji. And you've got that because this block moves the hand right over. Just take this and sweep it off, and then step into your juji.
To be fair, I limited her because I said she had to take my center.
Oh, okay.
And
And in doubt, just call me. And I'll say, I don't know.
yeah, the first few, she
But
kept on
that's-
her own center, and then the last
Okay.
few, I wanted her to take mine. But taking my center with her foot instead of with her hips threw both of us out of position.
They're both the same. I mean, whether you kick it out or step in and make him move, except out of the way because you're there. I don't know. That's something we'll have to decide on the style itself.
Right?
See if I'm right or
He's always
confused or whatever. Passing thoughts over the last minute. I'll re-listen to that on the tape and I say, what was I talking about?
Okay, so that's actually everything. Ladies, come in. All right. So we have finished all the second cue requirements for you. We have first cue, first dan, second dan, and third dan requirements. Pieces of all those you have to go. So, finger locks. Why don't you give us a? Actually, Alanna's very good at relating the finger locks to the wrist locks. She's been doing a neat deal finger lock that she's doing really productive. So let's just have you show us and tell us how they relate to the wrist locks, how they look the same, how they work the same. Well, you're not telling her, you're telling us.
I know you guys are talking serious. Okay, so with Nikio, you use the whole hand. With the finger lock, you just use the finger and you have everything in the same position.
Yeah.
Which makes less,
Yeah, do it for you.
do the same thing with soccer stuff. Half of a cross wrist grab. I guess for Kobayashi, same thing, to here.
Go back. The hand that you would grab her thumb side with for Kodayashi, just grab her index finger.
Okay. It was kind of,
Oh yeah, oh, make some space for
okay.
it. Do that the same way as you did the Kodayashi. Just take your other hand, peel that off, and roll it up. Yeah, there you go. So we've done Ikkyo, Kodayashi, Nikyo, and Sakyo. What else do we have?
You can do, maybe straight. You can do arm bar the same way. This way. Oh, sorry. That's way, not this. Just trying to think of this way there.
All of that's good. Everything you're doing is good. Don't be too worried about it being looking exactly like an armbar.
Okay. Yeah, because I mean, I can feel how to get into it, but I just don't know where you want me to go with it. Those are arm bars.
Okay, and which joint would you apply the pressure to make it like an armbar?
I guess I'd be
Yeah.
pushing the fingers.
I think she broke it. You broke it.
Oh, it's broken.
I'm pushing on the back of this here and pushing here.
Well, but to do it, slide your finger right to that knuckle. Yeah, that's the actual armbar application of it. If you keep your hand back at the knuckle that attaches to the hand, you're doing the same as a shoulder lock.
Okay.
See how that relates?
It would be just above the knuckle, just like this. Arm bar is just above the elbow.
Yeah. So, first joint, Ikkyo. Second joint, armbar. Third joint, shoulder lock. Right? The finger is the same as the arm. Okay, so show us a Shio.
Okay. So, I mean, I would be here. Seems like it's easier with this one. Is that all correct? I mean, I feel like I can do it, I just,
There you go.
I'm,
The reaction in her
Pressure.
shoulders tells you if you have the right finger lock.
yeah, I'm putting pressure here and here.
Yes, that's it. Because a Shio isn't done in line with the side of the body. It's done pulling away from the body. That's where you get the pressure, just like when you're doing the pinning technique, right? So with the finger, you're not pulling the finger back past the shoulder, which does nothing for pain at all. You're pulling it away, which you just did. That's the Shio. What else do you have?
Can it also rotate?
Yes.
Okay.
You wanna do that application?
Big finger, as you come around, your finger just rotate, twist it. That makes her shoulders dip and you know you've got shield. There you go, now just grab the finger, twist it. See what's happening to her shoulders? She's ready to go for a shield.
Okay.
Just twist it and drop it down.
Yep.
Yeah.
Fingers are so easy. Problem is that they break before you realize it.
If it breaks, then they're gonna make a fist punch.
Here's the thought, if you're going all the way back, how would you change it to get a finger lock?
Say that again?
So her fingers go all the way back, and most people's actually hyperextend a good amount. So how would you change it? You can still get it. How would you change it?
Okay. I feel like I'm getting the pressure.
Okay.
I don't know.
Well, let's say that the armbar application isn't working. How do you alter it a little bit to make it work better?
I guess I'm putting more pressure on this side of the hand, like I'm pushing on more points.
Okay.
And that seems to be more effective because if I just push there, it's bending kind of backwards. But when I did it and it worked well, I had all three fingers. But
I think that's the shoulder lock application she's doing in that case.
Right. If you go sideways, it hurts a lot
Oh,
and
yeah.
locks and it doesn't bend that way.
yeah, I remember doing this now.
Yeah, these bend and hers are a lot, but if you go sideways, if they bend,
They broke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I remember doing that with you now.
Okay. Yeah, me too. Alright. Now, let's go, well, you kind of did what I was going to ask you to do. I was going to ask you to do a regular wrist lock and then just slip into a finger lock. So instead, let's do a takedown of any kind you want and just do the finger locks as hold on, make it tap out. Okay, suits me. Anything you guys want to see?
can I just ask a question? I'm not seeing anything. Why would you choose a finger lock over a wrist lock or another lock?
I think for some people, like for example, Shane, who's in our hospital class, his wrists are extremely hard for me to manipulate. So for somebody like him, I think the finger lock would cause a lot of pain.
That's my answer
Yep.
too. I even thought of Shane because I do Sankyo almost entirely on his fingers. Okay. Moving on. That was finger locks. You have spine locks, but we've seen a million of those. Well, you have leg locks. Nobody else is taking those but me, probably. Mitch, you want to take them?
Sure.
Okay. For now, I'll just go through them, not worrying about whose center you're on.
Okay. With a takedown or already done?
Yeah, do one takedown, and then go through all the different locks while he's still on the floor.
Okay.
What attack would you like?
Well,
She gets to choose.
I'm a nice.
you're very nice. How about just a straight punch and I'll do a,
Okay.
yeah, so that's some kind of side.
Or
Now I'm gonna knee right
knee.
here.
Good?
Roll.
Yeah.
Good. Trap his leg with your two knees, and then do. And then. Oh, your Achilles tendon.
Mhm.
Yeah. What are you gonna do to get him turned over?
Not fast.
Well, you have to pick him up off the floor first of all. But what can you do now? Think about this. I'm not telling you to stay on center, so walk around. Oof. Walk this way.
This way? Oh, and just rolling over this way?
Yeah. There you go. What are you doing?
Yeah, this one?
It's not even anything.
Oh, I'm supposed to be down here.
So that's good luck, just try to straighten your hips a little bit.
Center. There you go. Okay, now let's do kind of one at a time. Take over Mitch's center or stay on your own, I don't really care. Whichever way you want to do it so that it fits principle, and do just one of these leg locks. Yeah, I saw that. That's cheating, she did it twice. Okay, something else. Okay, didn't exactly stay on center, but it was a nice takedown and nice tempo on it. Feels good for me. They look pretty effective. Are they working?
Mm-hmm.
Good. I haven't watched her do these before. It's the first time not being you, so.
Did she know the kick?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, you said to her. Okay, sorry.
Defending us.
Okay.
We have been working on keeping her on center, or on these, either on the center that you're on and you kick, or punch, or on her own. And it's harder with leg locks. Ooh, it's a little too fast, yeah. It's hard with the leg locks sometimes to be in position, but we've gotten better at it. Better than you have been today, actually. Why don't you do one that you feel like you can stay on center and show us, like use the spot on the mat. Whose center you on? You've been
I'll-
taking those,
Yeah,
don't you want to?
yeah.
Okay, it wasn't bad. You're on it now. You stepped out and back in. It's not bad.
Can I ask about the choice of direction you foot? Every time when you roll me, my foot is coming up right towards your head. I feel like I was mean, or you were just leaning forward slightly, and you start full on kick it.
Okay.
We talk
I,
about
um,
that every time we do these.
I know, and I was thinking about it, and I thought I remembered you saying as long as I'm conscious about it and then careful about it, I can do it that way.
Well, there are
Is that
two
not-
ways to roll somebody over, right? Clockwise and counterclockwise. So pick the one that makes the most sense.
Okay.
So you can,
Thinking more about keeping center or thinking more about,
okay, now she's leading, now she is.
She was picking up on that center,
Yeah, yeah.
clockwise.
All right, just keep yourself safe from a counter kick. That's all I'm saying.
okay.
You're aware that it's there.
Stay here. Wait,
Can't really hit you.
you had to leave
It's
center.
easier too.
You're right, you had to leave center in that case, but still, it's safer. She had to move like 2 feet to the side to do that effectively. It's good, it's right, it's the right thing to do. Okay, we will keep working on reconciling leg locks with staying on center. We've had effective workouts where we actually are staying on center with them. It's just, I don't want to do too much muscling someone into position just to stay on center.
Right.
I mean, that's where the principle gets in the way of itself. So we'll keep working on that.
Is
Because I remember with you, we would lift the leg up, drop it, and slide them back here.
True.
And their whole body
It slides.
slides. So instead of coming up here like this, coming in, you drag their whole body 2 feet back. So I don't know how.
And one of our, at least one, maybe more, Alanna's actually physically dragged me back to her to lock that same lock on. She pulled me across the floor. And I don't want to start doing that.
Right.
Yeah, and I think when we did that, it sparked my questions about, when obviously, when you start, you're thinking about keeping your own center or taking over their center, but in practical application, you establish new centers all the time. So,
True.
Right. You already take them down.
Right. See, I feel like the idea, the principle base of being on your own center and rotating, being on the opponent's center and rotating, that gives you the fundamental mindset of how we do things. How many different centers there are over the course of a conflict, especially with multiple attackers, I'm sure it's innumerable. So you're probably reestablishing center all over the place. But for now, getting up to black belt at least, we want to think in terms of harness my own center and spin, harness their center and spin. So the leg locks being in their color belt requirements, I feel like we want to continue to drill that for now.
You have to start there. Yeah, you can't think about 6 different centers for different attackers. You just gotta get comfortable doing one at a time.
So they have to move.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's no other way about that one, right?
Well,
If you're doing a leg lock, unless you drop, I guess.
If you do an inside read, for example, you're in center, you drop them, and they're right there for the leg lock. You should be able to do a leg lock out of the inside read pretty easily. Let's think.
How about the hip lock?
The hip lock we can do on our own center by just blocking the round kick, for example, turning kick, that we
Right.
always used to do with our crescent kick. Yeah, maybe do that. Maybe I'd back do it.
Yeah, that's what I was asking about the kick and
Yeah, and drop them down.
yeah.
Maybe you haven't done that yet. You want to explain it to me?
Yeah. So I'm gonna kick, and as you come across, as my turning kick comes across, you actually press it right over, outside in,
outside in with,
back up right there. So I come here,
Don't move into center.
Don't
Stay on
stay on your own center, and kick right over.
Yes.
cool, that's cool.
Yeah, I haven't shown you that.
Hello.
Now you're staying on center and doing a leg lock.
Try that again, or?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Drop it down.
Okay.
There you go. Yep. Since we're on that, leg assisted joint locks are next. Let me jump in. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Go ahead. I kind of like these. Just go with whatever you got.
You want me doing, knee chambers or?
No, leg assists.
Okay.
Ha! Oh, I thought it was going to get you. It was arm cut down. Yeah. Hey! Oh! Hey! Nicely done. Nice. He's doing what I don't expect him to do. Right? Good.
I did this.
Do it again.
I'll do this.
Hey! Yeah, you will.
Hang in there.
Yeah, okay,
I'm back.
yeah, armbar, sounds good. Alright. Okay, you got a forward projection out of it because you used the wrong crescent kick.
Yeah.
Not that it was bad, it was. Yeah. Oh, see how you are, we're not done yet. The armbar was very effective, but then she was switching into the knee kill. You guys catch that? The knee kill wasn't as effective.
I know.
Let's just, instead of all the circles, just do your crescent kick. That's a very tight lock. That's very nice. Now, everything comes straight up on your center. Everything, your hands too. There and down. Like that.
Okay.
Yep.